Next we have our final presentation of the day with Ashley Rose and Elizabeth Schroeder promoting your on-campus event, which is a great partnership with the previous presentation.
First, we want to introduce what we're talking about today, our topic, which is promoting your on-campus events. My name is Elizabeth Schroeder. I'm the Executive Director The Executive Director of Marketing. And I work at the Office of Marketing and Communications, and I am presenting with my counterpart,
Ashley Rose, Director of Web and Digital Marketing, also via MarComm.
All right, let's get started. All right, our agenda today will cover these topics: creating your promotional materials, the bulletin boards, web and email, digital signage, social media, and then we'll have questions at the end.
So first, we're going to talk about creating promotional materials and branding your event. So once you have planned your event, you have a location, a time, you know why you're doing it, you've checked the list that we just saw from the last group, you're going to start thinking about how to actually market this to your audience. You want to think and start on the material at least 3 weeks before your event, because that's going to give you time to copy edit your content, design your materials, modify it per platform, and then it'll give your audience time to actually see it right on social around campus. So this might seem obvious, but content's always going to be king in marketing, so you want to make sure all your materials include important event details like the name, the location, the time. So if someone sees it, they immediately know where it is and when to go. And if you can, ahead of time, try to check that master events calendar to make sure you're not going to conflict with any major events happening at the same time. So creating your materials, you want to use imagery that also communicates the type of event you're having. So it's not always possible, right? It doesn't always have a physical object associated with it. But if you can, it's a really nice way to help people quickly, when they're walking by, understand what your event's about. You want to make sure when you're creating your design, you're modifying it per platform. So it's not just one 8.5 by 11 posted across all different platforms. And then you ideally want to utilize our brand guidelines. You don't have to use every single color, every font, every graphic, right? But if you include our branded items, it's just going to help people associate the event with St. Mary's and the community. And it'll give it a little bit of a sense of place and time. And we've included just the end of the URL there, /brand guidelines, as a reference to where you can find that stuff. Okay, so quick example of what I mean by modifying your design per platform. I created these in Canva very quickly. Canva is a great tool. And I just asked Canva to resize it according to the dimensions for each platform. So on the left, we have Instagram Stories, which requires 1080 by 1920. In the middle, we have 8.5 by 11 inches. This also, in addition to digital signage, also works as a poster. And then on the right, we have just a 1-to-1 ratio for either Instagram feeds or the website calendar. And all I really want to show here is that they're all different dimensions, but they all visually feel the same, and it's very clear it's the same event. But by modifying it per platform, it just feels a little bit more elevated. Okay, so promoting your event on campus bulletin boards.
That's me. I will take it away. Thank you, Ashley. There are requirements for print posters.
Sorry. I think
there are requirements for print posters. All of these are established by the SIL that's located on campus. And so all of the print posters around campus should contain the following: the name of the sponsoring department or the student organization, contact information, obviously, location, date, and time. We're going to keep hitting that topic home. You want to make sure that you have that information so people know where to go and when for the event. And then also include the information needed for student disability service or any ADA accommodations as well. And just a helpful hit right here in tip is that flyers cannot exceed 11 inches by 17 inches. And when I talk about these bulletin boards here, you'll see that they are displayed within the brown box areas around the walls outside on campus. So that's what this will look like. All right, posting guidelines. SIL does have a 2-week limit, but there are events like 44 days that go the whole month. So if your poster has a culmination of events, you have special accommodation and you can have that posted for longer than 2 weeks prior to your event. They limit one per location. I was going to say, you're going to have to see how good I am at remembering all of this. One poster per event at any one of those brown box locations around the walls. And then they ask that you obviously remove after your event has taken place within 24 hours. And then last but not least, I know we all see them, but they're using painter's tape so that they're easily removable. Next slide, please. Poster submission and approval process still has a really easy process that we'd like to showcase here, that they have a stamp that they stamp all posters with. They also have a digital stamp as well. So you're able to get your poster approved and stamped for posting by visiting SIL at stmarysca.edu. Next.
Promoting your event on web and through email. So we're primarily going to talk about web, but we'll touch on email. Okay, so the master events calendar, hopefully everyone has seen it, knows what it is. If you don't, just type in /events at the end of our URL and it'll take you there. If you have access to the calendar currently, you know it's a really easy way to quickly promote your event. You post it, it's up, everyone can see it. There's no delay. There's no cost to it. It's viewable in multiple places across the website in an email. And at the week of the event, it gets emailed to all staff, students, and faculty in the Monday email. So posting to the website is a great way to just disseminate your content. When I say it's post in one place, I just want to point out some of the places your event will be posted. So up here on the left under Wake Up Wednesday, this is our event. Once it's posted, it's going to go into the My SMC portal. Right on the right over here, you see a list that says events. It will get posted there. It will also get posted to any event component on the website that is tagged with that same department. So I think Wake Up Wednesday, Student Success Office. So any component that on the website that has Student Success Office will pull in that event and show it on that web page. So if every page in your website has that component with that tag, it's going to show on every single page. And then obviously, like I keep saying, it'll go in that Monday email that everyone gets. Okay, quick on best practices for artwork for the website. So again, this is the same artwork I showed earlier. I just want to talk about what's a little bit different. So for web, if you include text in an image, it has to also be included in the alt text for the image for accessibility. So that way people who are using screen readers can also access that content. So for creating art for the website calendar, keep it very simple. It just needs to be the name of the event, and then the date and maybe the time, because you're going to have a whole web page with that content on it. So you do want to let someone quickly see the artwork and understand what it is and where it is, but you don't need every detail in the website art, right? Because you have a whole web page about it. Okay, and then how to post to the master event calendar. So if you're looking at me and you're like, okay, but how do I do this? What you'll want to do is just have a dean, a department chair, a VP, someone who kind of oversees your area, email me and let me know when you need access to the website. Once I receive that, I'll just respond that you have access with a list of resources, one of which includes the website tutorials. So we have created, I want to say like over 30 1 to 3 minute tutorials to just demonstrate how to do various things on the website. So yeah, we'll provide you with resource of access and then you can get started. Okay, promoting your event on digital signage. I think we have to have a special call out to IT services and Adriana and Garrett because they worked really hard over the last 6 months to improve the digital signage process. A few things about digital signage though. Again, it's a really quick, inexpensive way to promote your event. No cost associated, no printing cost. You don't have to print it and then go out and post every poster. It's sustainable, no waste. And then this one is open to all. You don't have to have special permission to post to digital signage, although there's an approval process. So the new process is a little bit more of a custom network. So multiple departments across campus have their own screen or screens. The majority of submissions are going to go to the student life submission boards, which are the majority of boards you're going to see in the open space. So the one outside of Galileo Hall, Oliver Hall, Garaventa, Dante, those are overseen by student life. There's also one board in admissions, BJW, and then SEBA oversees 2 boards. Each board has slightly different requirements in terms of dimensions and posting. For like 95% of us, we're just going to post to student life because they have the greatest reach, and it's going to be most consistent with what you're already creating. So I'm going to go over that process a little bit. So for the student life boards, there's a single form you'll fill out. It's a very short form. It just includes your file name, the name of the event, and then the start and end date for when the posting should go up and come down. It's just a 2-week limit. And the artwork needs to be 8.5 by 11. If you have posted to digital signage before, you might remember like being able to post 11 by 17. That we're not able to do that anymore. Just for consistency from board to board, it has to be 8.5 by 11, but that's a typical piece of paper, so I think it should be a little bit easier for people. And you can still print it and put posters up with the same artwork. And there's a URL there if you need to find it. We also have a list of tips at the end and URLs for people if they need it. Okay, and then quick best practices for digital signage. Again, make sure you make it in the dimensions that it will go into, so 8.5 by 11. Use a big event title. You know, you walk by and there's 6 posters on these boards. So if your title is very small, it's just not going to stand out. And then reduce the amount of text on it, right? Because if you have a lot of text, you have to make all your text smaller. It's just not going to really stand out for people. And then a QR code is really great because someone might not have time to type in the URL, but they can quickly pull out their phone, use the camera, and scan the QR code.
All right, then next for promoting your event on social media. All right, here are our social media recommendations. We'd like for you to stay on brand whenever and always possible. We'd like for you to get inspired by our brand identity guidelines. We keep plugging that as well. We'll have a link to it at the end of the presentation. We ask that you cover the basics. Again, where your event is taking place on campus, what time, and who. When, obviously the date. And then tagging. If you tag the handle for Instagram called @StMary'sCA, or other relevant clubs on campus, you might be able to get featured as an Instagram story for that event that you're hosting. Here's an example of a good event on campus. I don't know if there's anyone out in the audience from School of Economics and Business Administration, but shout out to you guys. You have posted this event. It's clearly defines what the event is. The language is clear and concise. It's easy to read. Even though there is text overlay on the image itself explains what the event is about. And that text on the image is also within the caption for this event too. Last but not least, social media best practices and tips. We ask that you promote everywhere that you have access to and have accounts on the internet. So that includes Instagram, LinkedIn, X, formerly Twitter. We ask that you also link it to that events page that you've already created because you're such a good event planner on our master events calendar. And then we also ask that you tag the same Instagram handle I mentioned prior at St. Mary's CA to be considered to be featured. We do a compilation of events happening that week every Monday, and your chances are higher if you're tagged to be featured in there if you tag us. Sabrina Hamer wasn't able to be here today, but she is our social media manager. She does oversee that social media account, the Instagram account I mentioned, that handle, and you are welcome to either tag her or email her directly with any questions about your event or promoting your event as well on socials.
Next.
Oh, we're at the end.
Yeah, some useful links if you need them. I think we're also sending out the presentations afterward. Yes, so you'll also get it that way. And I think we have plenty of time for Q&A if anyone has questions.
Thank you.
So for the digital signage for performing arts, we would want to promote it to students, faculty, staff, and for prospective students who might be interested in admissions things. So do we post it twice through the 2 different submission links?
Yeah, so admissions, that single screen in BJW, Rugged Drum West, it does have not only a different form, but a different dimension. And that's because that screen is just primarily owned by the admissions department, and they're using it to welcome prospective students. So yeah, unfortunately that one would require a second submission. But I mean, if you think about it, when the students come to campus, they're also touring the campus, so they're gonna see your event posted to boards as they walk around as well.
What happens when people don't pick up their posters and it's over 2 weeks old? Who's monitoring that?
That would be student involvement and leadership, yeah.
Do they call them and make them come get their own posters?
I actually have never been in that doghouse before, so I would recommend reaching out to them directly to ask.
Something that I love that we don't have anymore is being able to look retrospectively at events that happened in the past, and with our new website, that's not possible. Do you think that might be possible again in the future?
Yeah, I can see why you would need that. I think we'd have to talk about it because, so for instance, fall preview day is coming up. And so we would want to make sure that prospective students, if they're searching fall preview day, they're not bringing up 2022, 2023. So let's talk more about when, why you would need that, and how we might go about doing it.
Also, do you know how we get on Jen's the scoop for the students? Like, I find that the students don't really, I don't know if they even get the weekly newsletter and news with the upcoming events. It seems like they have their own separate thing called the scoop.
So they do, the emails that come out on Monday, the news and the event one, it does go to the all student list. I think you just email Jen to get on her scoop.
If you.
Oh, Brianna, okay.
Brianna Hubbard, right? Is that what you said? Yeah.
We have one more question.
Yeah, so not a question. I would just say, if you have web editing access, you can go to the content. I don't know actually for how many people have access to look at past content, but all the past events are visible there, just not in a forward public face.
They can only see their own content. So you can see everything because you see everything. But like the library can only see the library's old events.
I have a question. Do we have a TikTok account?
We do. Yeah. So if you have content or ideas for TikTok, Sabrina's the one to message.
Sabrina Hamer.
we just started a library TikTok, so.
She would love to collaborate with you guys and be involved in that process.
Any other questions? We have time.
So many questions. Thank you for your presentation. I am terrible at social media, and so are most of my faculty colleagues.
Twitter's no longer Twitter.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Yes, I don't know.
I'm glad you got that presentation.
So I've taken the liberty of scrolling through the St. Mary's CA Instagram page, and it's beautiful, but I don't see any faculty. And, well, there is one on September 17th. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just wondering if, how can we get faculty on Instagram? And as a faculty member, I don't have the answer, so I'm looking to folks who are better at this than I am.
Well, I feel like this is a good plug for an idea that we have, and you'll see like Harvard does this too, so we can be up there with Harvard, where they ask professors about their research, and then in like a minute and a half, they're supposed to describe the research they're doing. So we've been brainstorming ideas to get professors featured on social in a really like fun and engaging way. But if you look at Harvard's TikTok, you'll see that they do that. So if you would like to participate, send us an email.
Actually, there's one today.
Oh, there's one today.
But Corey's featured as a clip.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. Yeah.
And I do see, I do see faculty featured as
Surprise,
stories too. The stories which have like a 24-hour, like they just disappear after.
I don't see a story. 24 hours is too short. I can't keep up with emails.
This is so great. One thing that you mentioned getting on the digital signage. So that's that form that you had a link to. That was to get on the student life digital signage specifically, right?
Yeah, and we were calling it student life because they're approving all the posts. It's primarily student life related content, but I would say it's like 80% of the boards across
Yeah, it's the majority of the boards. I think it covers 10 across campus. So if you want to have the greatest reach, submit your digital signage to the student involvement in leadership boards. And once you put it in, it just goes to all. So you don't have to pick and choose. It's just going to go to all.
Yeah, it's just those unique boards, admissions, CBAs, the one in Bug Hall.
What about the rec center?
The rec center has a whole different process that we will also outline on the website where you can see that.
I just wanted to mention that SIL has been renamed. So I don't know if the contact information does anyone know what the new name is?
Transition.
Okay.
They're looking for proposals for names is what I'm hearing.
Okay, because we were just partnering with them on an event and we have a different name that we're using on the flyer as the collaboration. And I have to look at the flyer to see what that name is, but student activities and engagement. That's the one that I had heard. So anyway, contact info might change that you shared if the acronym changes is what I'm saying.
Oh, the form will stay the same though. Yeah.
The email might change.
Oh, yes, the email may change.
We'll make sure to get confirmation and update the slides.
Well, thank you all. This was fun. It was very high level, so if you want a deep dive, you have more questions, feel free to reach out to either of us or Sabrina.
It's really useful.